to Minute Mayor Exclusive. This is Zain. Today we have a very special guest that is joining us, Todd Shea. Many term him as an American Pakistani. He is a musician, a philanthropist, and also the founder of the nonprofit CDRS. Welcome to our show, Todd Shea. This is Zain Khan. It is such a pleasure having you.
Zen, it's great to see you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much to be on again, Todd. I want to get to the first question, and this is a very frank and technical question. Please explain to our viewers about your music career. I want to know as well, where did you start? How did it all begin?
Well, when I was about 11 years old, I told my mother I wanted a guitar. I was into the rock band Kiss and, things like that, bands like that back in the 70s. And I think it was about 1977. And so she bought me a guitar. I didn't know it at the time, but she bought me a guitar that she was going to give to me Christmas morning in 1978. And she unfortunately passed away a month before Christmas. But I did get that guitar from her, and that was something that I would practice a lot. And it was a gift from my mother, so it was so special for me. And I did have a huge interest in music, so I learned how to play, taught myself by listening to my favorite guitar players' recordings. Didn't really ever have lessons. And I had a little book of chords that I could get the chords from. But that's where I started. And over time, I got into school rock bands, and then I went professional and played in different bands and as a solo artist. That took me all over the U.S., playing and writing songs. I also played Southern rock and country music at different times, acoustic things, and dabbled in all sorts of different music, blues, rhythm and blues, that kind of stuff. And then I moved to New York City to try to get a record deal there. And I met a guy named Sid Bernstein, who was the guy that brought the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and Jethro Tull and many of the famous British bands of the 60s and 70s. He brought them to the U.S. And of course, by the time I came along, he was semi-retired, but he still had a very big name, and everybody in the music business knew who he was. So he signed me and had a showcase set up for me at CBGB's nightclub. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however fate would have it, the day before my show on September 12th ended up being 9/11. So obviously that show was canceled. I went down to Ground Zero, put my guitar down and my musical equipment, took it out of my van, and went down to Ground Zero and worked for a week, giving the firefighters and rescuers supplies and food and whatever they needed, medicines, stuff for the rescue dogs and people working around Ground Zero. And after that, it changed me. That experience changed me to where the pursuit of music career in a commercial sense just really felt to me shallow, I guess you can say, compared to what I realized I was good at. I didn't know I had these abilities to operate in a disaster zone, but 9/11 kind of put me in that position, and I was able to do a lot of good there. So after that, I started going to many different countries doing humanitarian work. I still write songs and I still play music here and there, but mostly to promote the causes that I am interested in and the humanitarian work that I do, to raise funds and things like that. So, over 22 years ago, I left the pursuit of fame and fortune and music behind.
We've started to talk about your philanthropy work again. Tell us a little more about music. Tell us a little more about some memorable collaborations that you've done in the US or in Pakistan, something that you want everyone to remember, you yourself remember, which were memorable moments regarding your music career.
Well, for me, to be able to work with very high level engineers and recording producers and managers that believed in my music, that saw, you know, great potential and saw the value and the talent that I had, you know, that was really great validation. And I was on a couple music magazine covers and starting to sell CDs and play for packed houses and things like that. So, you know, I have very good memories of that time. But 9/11 just kind of changed everything, changed my whole outlook. It just, you know, my desire for fame and fortune, and playing in front of thousands of people, and I guess having that ego trip and all the money and all that stuff that I was, you know, going after at that time, that evaporated along with the Twin Towers when they fell. And so I have a lot of great, wonderful memories of shows I did and the creative process. And music is always going to be a part of my life, right? So I've done collaborations here in Pakistan with artists like Grateline Baloch and Umair Jaswal and some really great singers, and I've met such wonderful talent here in Pakistan, and it's been amazing to see the classical music and the folk music, and then even the rock music of Pakistan, which has that Pakistani and South Asian desi flavor to it. It's those moments where I learn something new about music, and I hear something different, and I commune with other musicians from around the world and from the other side of the world. You know, those are the moments that I really treasure. Not so much, you know, who I performed with or what famous person I did a show with, but rather those moments with even the folk musicians, even people that nobody ever heard of, where you start playing music together, and you get to that place where your spirit feels like it's up in the clouds. You know, those are the moments that I live for when it comes to playing music. And you know, those are the some of the things that make life worth living, you know.
We've talked about your music. Let's get to your philanthropy. What did you start philanthropy before you entered music officially, or did you enter a philanthropy after you've officially entered the music scene?
Well, I started playing music in high school bands, and then went professional. Instead of going to college after I graduated high school, I went straight into playing music professionally. So, you know, that was first. But you know, we always played benefits for people that needed to raise money for medical procedures, for American Cancer Society and good causes. You know, we always wanted to do that. I always
So you started
performed
off
music.
with that casually, and then you founded CDRS. Like when? How did that start?
Well, after 9/11 happened and I started doing disaster relief work, I was just doing the freelance thing, you know, like a lone wolf, going uh, whenever a disaster would hit, and if I was needed by a group that was going, I would join them, or you know, work in a capacity as a volunteer, but really just kind of going wherever the need was. And that led me to the tsunami in Sri Lanka, and then to Hurricane Katrina. And literally the day that I got back from working at Hurricane Katrina was the earthquake in Pakistan. And I called the Pakistan embassy when I saw it on the news, this terrible earthquake. And I volunteered as a logistics coordinator if they needed one. They gave me the number of some Pakistani American doctors from APNA and Islamic Medical Association of North America. They said, yeah, we'd love to have you because we need logistics help. So I joined them, and I was going to stay for 2 weeks in Pakistan. After 2 weeks, they asked me to stay for as long as needed, and that more doctors were going to be coming, and they needed somebody to look after the needs of the doctors. So I was looking after everything from pick up and drop to the helicopters to liaison with the Army and UN and other NGOs to getting all of their supplies and their oxygen tanks and gas cylinders and fuel and communications and transportation and security and tents and blankets and food, all those things. So that's what I did. And it was after about 4 or 5 months of working in Pakistan with that group of doctors that some friends in the Pakistan Army, after many people in the villages and many associates asked me to stay, and I thought, yeah, I think I'd like to stay. It's a beautiful country. I've fallen in love with the people. They need help, because a lot of people were asking the foreigners to stay because they knew it was going to take years to rebuild. So they were asking anyone who was willing to stay, please keep helping us. And so I stayed. I answered that request, and it was some friends in the Army that helped me register CDRS, and that's where CDRS was born after the earthquake in Pakistan.
Tell us a little more about your current projects. What is CDRS doing right now? What sort of philanthropy work are you into right at the moment, your major projects?
Well, we've worked in every disaster of Pakistan. So we wrapped up about a year-long mission not too long ago, last fall, that was from the 2022 floods on up to the fall of 2023. We worked in so many areas of Pakistan hit by the floods. We worked in COVID before that, giving food packs to people. Now, and for the last few years, we've been doing work in healthcare. We have a couple medical centers, Mother-Child Health Center in Swat, Child Health Clinic in Karya. We have 4 House of Blessings for widows and orphans. 2 of them are new in Karachi. We've had for almost 2 years, and about 4.5 years in Islamabad. But then we're opening up 2 literally this month in Lahore, as well as Banigala. So we're expanding that project, which gives widows and orphans and single mothers and abandoned children an opportunity to live in a home that's like a normal home and a normal environment. We take care of everything for them, and good nutrition, good roof over their head, security, good schools and school uniforms and everything. And they live like a family. And we help them become productive citizens that break the cycle of poverty and get out of the emotional trauma that they've been through, so that they can someday become donors of CDRS and supporters. We also have over 700 clean drinking water projects throughout the country, from reverse osmosis water filtration systems on down to simple hand pumps, and that's all over Pakistan. And we have an animal welfare program. It's in Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, Pindi, and Skurdu, and that's centering on the depopulation of stray dogs, but in a humane and compassionate way. Rather than shooting and poisoning, we vaccinate them for rabies, and then we do the surgery to prevent them from having more unwanted kittens and puppies. And we also build schools, build homes for the poor, and help special patients and special cases when there's an emergency. We try to help as many people as we can who need assistance. And we have certification, twice certified now by Pakistan Center for Philanthropy as one of the top NGOs in Pakistan. And we just we want to expand because of climate change, because of the need of orphans and widows in the country, and because of the animal welfare situation. Those are our 3 main projects right now: is clean drinking water, care of widows and orphans, and animal welfare. And the animal welfare project, quite frankly, is a healthcare project for human beings too. it affects the public health when there's so many dogs running around spreading disease and rabies. So we have to deal with that. But Allah wants us to deal with it in a compassionate and empathetic way. He doesn't want us killing and murdering, poisoning and shooting dogs because they're domestic creatures. Allah made wolves, but we took them in thousands of years ago and made them into domesticated dogs. And now we abandoned them. So they're suffering. And people are suffering too because of the effects of these abandoned dogs. So it's our problem and it's our responsibility to deal with them in a humane way, treat them with kindness and love, and just make sure that we don't have more unwanted dogs and cats that are born. But there's so much you can do with dogs. They're not like, pigs and jackals, and that you can actually train dogs to be guard dogs and sniffer dogs and hunting dogs and all kinds of things. So we need to have a change in thinking in Pakistan about the stray dogs. And so we're hoping to make that project something that makes life better for humans and animals.
I want to get to the next question, and you're probably asked this question a lot when you move around in Pakistan. How was your experience as an American citizen in Pakistan? And tell us a little of your 3 experiences which were amazing in Pakistan and 1 bad experience that you had in Pakistan.
Well, I'll tell you, in almost 19 years now, I walk freely without security, and I've worked in Banu and I've worked in Swat, and I've worked in Balochistan, and I've worked in AJK and far-flung areas, places in Pakistan where even Pakistanis say they don't want to go, and most Americans would be scared to death to go. But not only do I go, but I go without any weapons or security, and I have not been threatened once. And so my experience with the Pakistani people has been, by and large, very positive, and have been given a lot of love and respect. It's always a challenge raising funds because there's so many good causes and so many organizations. So fundraising has been a challenge. I go back to the States to fundraise, mostly with the Pakistani American community, and it's made me quite sad, actually, that beyond the Pakistani American community in America, I don't get any support. And I really think it's sad because I came to Pakistan to help Pakistanis, but I really came to help human beings. And I think we're all human beings. And so it is sad to find that people, have this attitude that they've gotten from either the government propaganda in America or the Western media's portrayal of Pakistan. And because of that, they don't have the empathy and compassion to help others as much. And so we've gotten very little assistance there. And I find that sad. I also find it sad when even within the Pakistani American community, who are most of our support, and most of them are great, but there's also a quite large contingent that isn't very happy with a white guy doing work in Pakistan that they should be doing. I guess it makes them feel guilty that they're not doing, and here's this white guy that's come back and doing what they should be doing. And instead of joining me and helping me do their job with them, they look at it like I'm, making them look bad. So they try to hurt my mission or disparage my name or make up some story. I got one time I heard that from a partner organization that they got a letter saying that Todd Shea was drunk in a nightclub in LA, bragging about how he gives he's running guns and getting weapons for the Taliban, and it's like crazy stuff. And then I was on drugs and all that.
Who said that exactly? Like, not to mention the name, but like,
it was an anonymous letter that was written to an organization that we worked with called Global Giving, and they had to stop supporting us for a little while and do a full investigation, which included the FBI, to clear me before they would start helping again. And of course, they realized, and after investigating, that it was a load of crap. But this is what sometimes I have to deal with is racist people who just have decided they don't like me. And the reason they don't like me isn't because I've done anything wrong. It's because I've done something right by looking at Pakistanis as human beings when many white Americans don't. And you know, it's one of those things where no good deed goes unpunished. So that's the negative side, but the positive far outweighs the negative. And for every Pakistani American who's been cruel and mean and nasty and has withheld support and has tried to disparage the name of CDRS and me and my work, there's 100 who have supported us. So, you know, you asked me about the negative, but really the positive has been far outweighing the negative.
Todd Shea, I'd like to request you to give us a little performance that you've always done in all the events that you've covered and visited. Please play Dil Dil Pakistan for our viewers.
Sure. I have a little cold. I'm just getting over, so I don't know how good it'll be, but I'll try my best. Hey, Dil Dil Pakistan, Jan Jan Pakistan, Dil Dil Pakistan, Jan Jan Pakistan, Dil Dil Pakistan, Jan Jan Pakistan, Dil Dil Pakistan, Jan Jan Pakistan. यार अपना तो सबको जी जाने से यार लगता है यार लगता है हमको भी अपने और अरमान से यार लगता है यार लगता है everybody dil Pakistan Jan Jan Pakistan dil Pakistan Jan Jan Pakistan, Dil Pakistan, Jan Jan Pakistan, Dil Pakistan, Jan Jan Pakistan, ऐसी ज़मीं और आसमां इनके सिवा जाना कहाँ पड़ती राहे ये राशनी चलता रहे ये कारवां दिल पाकिस्तान जान जान पाकिस्तान दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जान जान पाकिस्तान दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जान जान पाकिस्तान दिल दिल
Beautiful,
पाकिस्तान
beautiful.
जान जान पाकिस्तान
Excellent. Zindabad. Zindabad.
Pakistan.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I hope our mics catched everything up because we both have professional mics right now. So they might have not catched all the chords in the guitar, but that was extremely beautiful.
Muhammad Sultan wanted to sing with me, so he came and started singing. Thank God my voice is just held up just till the very end, but then finally it gave out.
Hello, Beta. How are you? Welcome to our show, Minute Mayor exclusive.
Say hello, Zain.
We're gonna keep that in the podcast. Hello, how are you?
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for the performance, and Muhammad Sultan for the cuteness in the performance. How old is he?
He's going to be 3 on May 12th.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. With that, we wrap this up. We wrap Minute Mayor exclusive. You were watching Todd Shea giving us the performance on Minute Mayor exclusive. He is a philanthropist, a musician, and also the founder of CDRS. Until the next episode, keep on watching Minute Mayor exclusive. This is Zain Khan. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Todd Shea. Take care.
Thank you, brother.